whether you're 30 years old, 50, 60, or even 70 years old. Knowing our retirement type, what type of retiree are we going to be, is super important to our retirement success. And as a financial advisor, I could slice and dice this 100 different ways. But in today's video, I want to share with you 3 categories that I think are super important and will be helpful for you as you think about preparing for and entering retirement. And in this video, I'm going to break it down by when you're planning on retiring, at what age. And so we have the bluebirds, and the bluebirds are people that are hoping to retire between 50 and 62 years old. These are the early retirees. And then we've got the yellow finches. And the yellow finches are planning on retiring at a normal age. And then finally, we have the red robins, which are people that are planning on retiring a little bit later. So let's jump in and let's start with the blue jays. Okay, the blue jays are planning on retiring earlier. So job number 1 for you is really double checking and making sure you have enough money to retire before you make that leap. This is going to be a long time in retirement. Hopefully you have 40 plus years in retirement. And so as the old carpenter's adage goes, you want to measure twice, but cut once, right? And so I want to share with you, how much does the average person your age have? What is their net worth? And so this is dated by the Federal Reserve, and it talks about the median household net worth. Net worth is just the value of all your assets minus the value of any debt you owe on that. So it would be your retirement accounts, it would be your taxable bank account, and importantly, it would also include your home equity if you own a home. Okay, so for people that are under 35 years old, the median household net worth is $39,000. 35 to 44, it's $135,000. 55 to 64, so we're getting into your age group, is $365,000. 65 to 74 is $410,000. And 75 plus is $335,000. Now, it's important to note that 80% of people over 65 own their own home, and about half of their net worth is tied into their home. So about half of this number is illiquid. It's not assets available to fund your retirement. So how do you figure out whether you have enough money to retire? There's really 2 ways. You can hire a professional, which is the method I prefer, mea culpa. I'm a financial advisor, but you can hire a fiduciary. And I think for a big decision like this, it's money extremely well spent. But I know it's not for everybody. So if you're gonna do it yourself, I suggest you use professional software to do it. The software I recommend is by a firm called Boldin, Boldin. They used to be New Retirement. It's very affordable. It's $120 a year. And I think it's much more robust than building your own Excel spreadsheet, than building your own Google sheet, frankly, because you might forget some stuff. You might do a math error in it, and I don't want to see that happen. For $120 a year, I think it's money well spent. And if you use the link below, you'll be supporting the station. It's go.boldin.com/Azul, Azul. Okay, enough said on that. Okay, so that's for the bluebirds. This is for people that are going to be retiring early. Job number 1, again, make sure you have enough money. For the yellow finches, people planning on retiring at normal age, there's 2 things I would say. One is it's great that you're going to be able to retire early. Most Americans, there's a huge retirement crisis in the United States. So if you're on path to retire at a normal age, congratulations. I do want to encourage you to think about maybe retiring early, or at least plan for it. This is a report by Goldman Sachs, and they say that 56% of retirees said that they retired earlier than planned, and about half of those folks were forced out, either because they had health issues, they lost their job, or they had to care for family members. So even if you're planning on retiring normal age, I think it's good to be in a position where you could retire comfortably if you had to retire 5 years early. And then one of the main reasons for my channel is to get people thinking about maybe retiring early might be an option for them. So I want to share with you two things that might encourage you to think, you know what, maybe you could retire sooner than what you're thinking. The first one is a study by BlackRock called To Spend or Not to Spend. And these bar charts here show what percentage of the original money that somebody retired with, they still had 17 to 18 years later. The report's done by BlackRock. They're the country's largest asset manager. And this was for their clients here. You can see the orange is their lowest wealth clients. The yellow is their medium wealth, and the pink is their highest wealth. And the two columns to the right, the 80 to 100% and the 100% plus. Let's look at those. The 80 to 100% are people that still had 17 to 18 years later, 80 to 100% of the nominal money that they retired with. That's about 10% of the people surveyed. And then the next category is people that had 100% or more of the nominal amount that they retired with. So if 17 years ago they had $500,000, this report is saying 50% of them still had $400,000 or more in their account. So you may need less than what you think. And then the next thing, and this is going to apply to the next category as well, but we're not going to live forever, and we're not going to stay healthy forever. And so I want to see you take full advantage of the youth of your senior years and listen in as I talk to the Red Robins and encourage them to maybe think about retiring a little bit sooner. So your homework is to think about, how do you put yourself in a situation that if you had to retire 5 years earlier, you'd still be comfortable. So that's your homework from this video. And now I'm switching over to the Red Robins, the people that are planning on retiring later, 68 or later. And for some people, it makes a lot of sense to do that. If you truly love your job, and this is your hobby, you really love it, you know, it's okay to do that. But the vast majority of us, that's not the situation. I just encourage you to be honest, because as a financial advisor for over 20 years, I've heard lots of people tell me that they love their job when it comes time to retire, but I've been working with them for 10, 15, 20 years, and they've told me earlier that they don't love their job, and it can be the default answer that prevents you from doing something that might be scary, which is entering retirement and finding a new purpose, finding a new identity in life. And to encourage you, you already saw the study on savings and how a lot of people end up not spending the money that they saved. The other thing on the health side, let me share with you some data from the World Health Organization. And this is the healthy lifespan. And you can see here the average American loses our health at just 66.1 years old, 13 months after we retired. So if there's things that you've been postponing, if you have a someday list, someday I want to do that, someday I want to do something, we're almost out of someday. So I encourage you to think about retiring sooner rather than later. And until that time comes, I think it's important we enjoy our journey up to retirement. And that's why I made this video here, 8 things to stop doing in our 50s and 60s in order to enjoy our retirement more. I'll see you in that video. Thanks for watching this one.